What's up, guys? All right, let's go through to number 7 on the pound for pound list. But first, someone asked me to take a look at Pete Rose's swing. Maybe that's prescient now because Rose has been reinstated into baseball, which, is there anybody who's not happy about that? I've never heard anyone say Pete Rose really should stay out of baseball and be banned for life and never make the Hall of Fame. Never heard that in my life. So finally people are getting what they want. So Pete Rose had a swing that's very common among high average hitters in Major League Baseball. What I see from them is I see lead arm dominance, but just not a desire to hit the ball really hard. That's it. So let's just take a look. I mean, I typically don't see a lot of front humerus compression. The hands kind of stay relatively in front of the chest oftentimes. Doesn't have to be like that. And but they're still not overexerting with the back arm. You can see nice connection there at contact. That could be that's a great connection, connected position there at contact. He never really swung with like everything he had. It was just more like to make contact. Beautiful positioning there. You can see the back arm and bat in alignment. He clearly was pulling more with the lead side. Let's take a look at this other swing here. This one is a little high and tight, it looks like, so he's pulling his arms away even more from his body. So he's a little disconnected, mainly because of the ball position, making an adjustment there. But you can still see, what I look for is that the bat, see right there, the back arm and bat are basically in alignment. So he's got kind of a swing where when the wrists are finished releasing the bat fully, his arms are also finishing the swing, rather than being out here flipping and then finishing. And that's what you see from just great hitters, regardless of whether they hit for just high average or just high power or they hit for both. I mean, typically you're going to see the same sort of thing in that way, where the swing is sort of like one piece. Like you're finishing the movement of the wrists at the same time that you're finishing the swing. There you can see a nice connected position there at contact. And then again, look at the extension happening late, however you want to say it. I mean, it's something you can see with the naked eye. Basically the swing finishing when the wrists finish as well. Or you could say the back arm and bat are in alignment for a long time into the finish of the swing. Reminds me a lot of guys like Richie Ashburn. Like, again, weren't going for tremendous power. We're just going for a really fast swing that they can do at the last second and not winding up so much. But look at the connection there again at contact. And he finishes the wrist action at the same time that he finishes the swing. Here's another look at Richie Ashburn. Richie Ashburn had very low power and very high consistency. Again, pulling more with the lead side here. Really relaxed back arm, but just didn't go. I mean, look, he's finishing his rotation out there. He's just not going for a whole lot of power. He's looking to get out of the box, and he was really fast. Rod Carew, same kind of thing. Wasn't going for a lot of power, but look, he had more front humerus compression. But again, he just didn't wind up or really finish rotating so far either, you know, that combination. Basically, he didn't put a lot into his swings. And Ted Williams said of Rod Carew, I think he really should have gone for more power. Look at this disconnection here at contact. But look at that, back arm and bat in alignment well into the finish of the swing. You can see he finishes his rotation pretty early. Wade Boggs, again, had not a lot of back arm exertion like all these guys. Look at the back arm, is really chilled out there. Had very connected positions at contact like this. Back arm is almost at 90 degrees. But then he would just finish his swing really early. So let's get to the number 7 pound for pound hitter of all time, Ted Williams. All right, let's look at Ted Williams' stats. So Ted Williams played from 1939 to 1960. He's listed at 205 pounds. Hit a home run every 14.79 at bats. Batting average was .344 for his career. His pound for pound score is .333. He's one of these guys who, along with Duke Snider, in the top 10, he's the same as Duke Snider in this way, that he had dominance in his lead arm. Ted Williams threw with his right arm, and so did Duke Snider. So we have one more guy in the top 10 who threw with his right arm and batted lefty, and another guy who batted lefty but didn't throw with his right arm but wrote with his right arm. So you guys can maybe guess who these guys are, or maybe not, but we will be getting to them. So let's take a look at Ted Williams here. So he's got a little bit of a bat tip, which is hard to see here, but right there he's tipping the bat towards the plate. And then he lengthens out that arm. Look at that. And I love this move of the bat. As he starts to open, it's flattening. It's going away from him. A lot of guys, the barrel will actually get a little closer. They're pushing out with the arms as they start to open. Particularly that back arm is pushing out. They're doing more of a push rather than a pull action with the lead side. Look at this position right there. Beautiful action. That takes quite a bit of flexibility here. That's a lot of lead arm compression that not everyone is capable of. I think it is an advantage in hitting. Don't force this. Don't try to have more in your swing, but work on your flexibility of your lead arm across your chest. Work on your mobility of your lead arm shoulder. Hanging on gymnastics rings is a great way. But let it work its way into your swing if you're trying to build more hand depth or lead arm compression. But don't try to necessarily force it. Just let it happen. Let it be comfortable. There you can see pretty nice connection there at contact for that hit. There you can see the bat actually in that particular swing looked to kind of flip a little bit. Look at that. Let's look at his other swings here. This is kind of going the other way, so he has to halt his body rotation, kind of make it go the other way. Again, you don't see that back arm and bat in alignment. Beautiful connection there. And there you do see the back arm and bat more in alignment. There's no real flip there. So that's the thing. I mean, you have to look at mainly this beginning position, these beginning movements that you see of hitters. That's really the key. If they can not overexert the back arm and do more of a pull from here or up until this point, they're gonna basically have more connection at contact. It allows, it's funny, people talk about building up bat speed early in the swing. That's a big talking point in today's swing instruction. And I think that that is actually something that you do want. But you get that by having the back arm behave and chill out at the beginning stages of the forward rotation. And what that does is that kind of allows the barrel to speed up in relation to the back arm exertion, to the back arm extension. And that I do see as important. But the way people think of it now is wrong. To me, it's wrong, because they're saying build up the bat speed, and their answer to that is to quickly start it fast from the start, and therefore, if you start it fast from the start, almost like a car or a sprinter, like if they can get moving faster, then in the end they can be faster too. That's not the right way to look at it, because the bat actually has to still redirect at the beginning of the forward rotation. That's something that this model of the swing today isn't taking into account. Like, realize that once you start to rotate, that bat's actually going to take a moment to redirect. It's going to be moving in the negative direction before it gets moving positive. People don't talk about that. They talk about just snapping it, and then that momentum is going to carry you through. Like, there's never any like basically backswing that redirects. So that's really the point, that if you do that redirection in the right way, not doing a redirection where it redirects because your back arm and your hands are pushing outward and you're getting the redirection real close to contact, but because you're redirecting with a chilled out back arm, and the bat can therefore kind of rebound and start moving into the forward direction. And that's when your body continues this momentum and pulls it through. But again, basically the swing, the important part of the swing really happens from here to here. And then adjustments are made into contact. Williams isn't always going to be this connected at contact. The lead arm nice and taut against the body, the back arm nice and loose. There are going to be different contact positions all over the place, but I think the key is that your baseline position at contact is well connected, that you're capable of a well connected position at contact. That's really the key. And look, you can get his body into the hit there. That's the definition of getting your body into the hit right there. The back arm extends late in the swing, and the back arm and bat are in alignment for a long time. Now, is he going to flip more at certain pitches? Of course. Everyone is going to adjust and be more flippy at times, even the greatest hitters, who are typically more connected at contact. This is an interesting view because, look, the bat actually drops below the hands. This is something that today's instruction says is bad, and always has said it's bad. It's the dropping action that is basically allowed by the back arm just chilling out. But some guys are just so flexible in the back arm and overall in the arms that the dropping action just continues. And it drops even farther down. And then what's going to happen is from here, I think this might be a little bit of an advantage. I see a lot of the great hitters did do this. Ruth, Ogilvy, the great pound-for-pound hitters did tend to achieve this position. Mike Schmidt and Ted Williams. And watch, as he rotates, again, using his body more in the hit because he's pulling more with the lead side, as he rotates here, it's going to really whip the bat into a more level position. And that might just give him just a little bit more whip onto the hit. Look at that action right there. definitely body controlled. He's putting his body into the hit. Something that today's hitters, again, just are not getting a lot of. Their body into the hit. There's so much hanging back on the back leg and throwing the hands at the ball. Beautiful action right there. Look at that. That's just great right there. Look at that lead arm humerus compression, barrel flattening. Boom, look how much the barrel has flattened there. Again, has to do with the back arm being nice and loose, and in Ted Williams' case, he had a lot of flexibility, and he allows that to show in that positioning there by just letting the back arm chill out and pulling more with the lead side. And here he just drops. Look how much he's just dropping his hands onto the hit here. This has to do with just being real loose. If you swing with just your lead arm, you'll be able to feel this easily. Tee a ball up very low and just feel yourself just drop the hand onto the hit. Pulling the bat through and dropping the hand onto the hit. That's an awesome looking swing. Look at that. That's the exact thing I'm talking about with the back arm extension and the bat. The back arm extension happening late in the swing, and the wrist really there's like no rollover of the wrist as much here. This is how I can identify a great swing. Of course he's rolling the wrist, but the wrists are finishing their rollover at the same time that he's finishing the swing. This is more his baseline positioning that he would achieve through contact. See how the back arm extension is happening late in the swing? Or you could say the back arm and bat are in alignment late into the swing, like right there. They're still aligned. Again, great lead arm humerus compression. Look at the flexibility there. That's Griffey-like flexibility. Nice and connected there at contact, and here comes the extension. It's almost like the faster looking portion of the swing for these great hitters is oftentimes like where he is now. Like around that time is when it looks like they're moving the fastest. And look at that complete finish. I'd like to see that complete finish come back. There's no reason why you shouldn't be finishing all the way around you. Unless, of course, you're a Pete Rose kind of hitter, which, look, Rose and Carew, without a doubt, were great hitters. I just think that I would, if I had consulted any one of those guys, I would have said, let's go for power. I mean, I don't think you're going to hurt your batting average that much. I mean, what did Boggs hit when he hit those, what was it, 20-something home runs, 21 homers? I forget what he had. 24, something like that, one year. I mean, did his average go down all that much? And if it did, is it well worth the additional power? Usually it is. Now, this is an interesting picture of Ted Williams I had done just removing his back arm. And you can see that it looks right. Like if he was only swinging with his lead arm and he was pulling the bat through, this looks like the position that he would achieve. A lot of these guys just had very, these pound for pound greats, they really had more lead side pull. That's really the key. So continue to do that lead arm progression. And check out my book, Swing Like Griffey, if you guys want to know more about my approach to the swing. You can also get the lead arm training bat. I am working on opening a facility in Reno. I'm excited about that. So more to come on that. I'll let you guys know how that works out. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.